How's it going, everybody? Ubertarian here, and this video is called Uber Conspiracy Theories, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Well, if you don't know what Uber is, you probably live under a rock, but I'm just going to explain briefly what it is. It basically is a technology application that allows you to get a ride within minutes. Think of it like a really fancy vending machine. You know, when you buy something from a vending machine, you know, you put in $1, you press a button, and you get a soda or a water or whatever you want to buy, right? Well, Uber is like that, but of a ride. So in some cities, you have options like you know, a black car, SUV. Even like a helicopter I've seen in some cities. Well, that's how it works on you know, on the passenger side, right? Not too many details. I mean, you just get a ride, right? Where the science is, and all of the fancy software engineering and computer science behind the application, because it is a very sophisticated application. Very simple, but sophisticated. And all of the data that it you know gets, it's like very intriguing what it's capable of doing. And it is because of that data that Uber has made all these changes and can predict a lot of things in a market. I mean, they have so much data, and they can do so much stuff. So conspiracy theories. Let's say, let's begin. So I came together with a couple of writers on Facebook, and some of them, you know, they showed me the details of their guarantees, because everybody gets a different guarantee, right? We all know that. We all know that some people get a guarantee of maybe $100 if you drive 10 trips or something like that. And somebody might get 15 trips and get $125. Yeah, well, we all know that, right? But there's a different type of guarantee. So I was driving around my city, and Jermaine Ellis pointed something similar to this. He said that he saw a car, and you know, another Uber driver, and his screen was red. It was surging, like bright red. And in his phone, it wasn't surging. And that's what I want to talk about, because some drivers, and I also want to quote Uberman, because he said that if you were to get a car, he said that don't buy a new car because it's not right. He doesn't recommend it, and that Uber, you know, rips you off, whatever. But he said something that I disagree with, which is that an older Uber car is gonna make the same amount of money as a newer car, and that's not true. That's where the Uber conspiracy and engineering begins, because before, when Uber started, you just press a button. You got the closest rider, you know, in your area, and that was it. Maybe back then that's how it worked, but now, let's say you have a newer car. You know, you're obviously gonna get more requests because you press a button, and they're gonna find the car that's nicest. You know, the newer car. So the passenger can get picked up there. I mean, in a new car. All right, that's the beautiful science. So and Jermaine Ellis really points out a lot of stuff. He's spoken to many people, many Uber drivers, and when they're and he mentioned in one of his videos, I mean, that driver with a new car got a lot of guarantees, a lot of bonuses, and then you had another guy, you know, with an older car, no bonuses, no nothing. And it's a data that it's an application that is so powerful. I mean, it could predict anything. It could, you know, when Uber like says they're gonna investigate something, like, have you ever been deactivated? I've been deactivated, and I mean, but it makes me wonder, like, what do they investigate when something happens? Like, how? I mean, it's versus typically like he said, she said, right? That there's both sides of the story, and that's it, right? But they go back and look at your past trips and your your ratings, and they have like, if the average driver, they've been driving for about, I say, 1,000 trips, so they know what kind of driver you are, and they know they're able to predict, like with algorithms, I guess, if you're an honest driver, or if you like to like cut corners and rip people off. Because when you're starting out, sometimes, like, let's say you don't end the trip when you're supposed to end the trip, right? And when you do that, like, your ratings go down, obviously, because the rider obviously sees that, hey, well, he didn't end the trip where I was supposed to be. They get a notification. So Uber is able to predict, oh, well, this guy has several reports of this. So, they have a lot of things that they have access to. Not only that, so you know how phones have front-facing cameras and rear-facing cameras? And you have your phone on your dashboard, right? So I heard that Apple was mad at Uber because, like, even if you shut off the app, the Uber app would still be running, right? Like, that's what Apple had an issue with. And this is where, like, my red flag sensors came out, because I was like, wow, we have our phone mounted on our car. I mean, and they in the car, like, I have my phone mounted here, as I would like if I was driving. And when I turn on the camera to vlog, I was like, this is a perfect view of my entire car. Like, I can see myself, and I can see the people behind me in the car. And then if we turn this way, okay, maybe if it was like that, like if I were to put it portrait, I'd be able to see the front. So, but because of the video, I have it on, landscape. But it occurred to me, what if Uber, with its application, can actually see us? I mean, see us driving and logged in, and can see what we're looking at and where we are. Isn't that kind of scary? Because, I mean, why, like, if we go back and look at Edward Snowden and all of that, he told us that anybody, like the government or whatever, they could have access to our phone, and they can hack into our phones very easily. And he showed us that by removing, like, the battery sticker or something like that, you would be able to prevent your phone from being hacked. And after he made that video, they started making phones without a removable battery. And they were very slick. They were saying that, oh, it's for better battery life. Bullshit. I remember when I had a Note 4, the battery life on that phone lasted like a day and a half. And then I upgraded to the Galaxy S7 or S6, and it was crap. The phone would only last like 7 hours. It was the worst phone I've ever had. That's why I switched to Apple, which is probably the easiest phone to, they have everything. They have your fingerprint now. They have your Face ID and all that stuff. So what if Uber paid out? I'm not accusing Uber of anything. I appreciate the job. I'm just saying that they have a lot of data, and that Big Brother is watching. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Uber had access to your camera, from front facing camera, rear facing camera, while you were driving. And they would be able to see you. I mean, and even because even if you turn off the app, according to, Apple, that they accused Uber that the app would remain, operational. And we know how Uber operates. They pay everybody. What makes you think they're not making a deal with the government? I mean, I'm just saying. I like the company. I work for Uber. I'm a driver. I make money off of it. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that it's just very, 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 very slick. I mean, they can see anything. They have access to you, access to your passenger, probably access to all of your contacts on your phone. Uh, you know, and I mean, why else would they make front-facing cameras anyway? I mean, for for selfies? Yeah, right. Not for selfies, you idiot. For freaking spyware, obviously. I mean, that's my opinion. I just think that there's when they can predict, like they can give you a good week if they wanted to, and they could give you a bad week if they wanted to. That's just how it is. I mean, that's how it all works. And you know it's predictable. They can do it. uh, and every company, I know call centers, sales call centers that have that similar type of system, but Uber's is very slick. This is like my, one of my very first blogs. I intend to keep blogging about Uber. I mean, they made a lot of changes. But in the end, they pay my bills, I guess. So yeah, I respect them, I guess. But just to think, I mean, everything that's happening, and with I'm gonna definitely make a part 2 of this, because there's some things that I have to get to discuss, that I want to discuss about regarding the situation with Uber and stuff. Not so much with Lyft, but Uber. It's just we've seen that with Uber. How it operates and stuff. And I mean, I guess if they could, they would. So, all right, guys, it's time for me to go to the grocery store and buy some food. Take care.